Now, this is my full transformation all the way from elementary down to middle school to high school, college, playing basketball overseas, even me going to prison. Now, I played basketball my whole life, and this is where the discipline comes from. The whole time I played sports, I learned discipline, I learned structure, I learned application. Information needs application. That is one reason I am big on applying. I am a doer. I am not a don'ter. Now, coming out of Columbus East High School, I went to Sunny State University, where I had a full-ride basketball scholarship, and I ended up catching a drug trafficking case for marijuana and going to prison. And my first time going to prison, I did almost a year. I came home on violations. I came home and caught violations and ended up going back, and I ended up doing a little over 4 years in my second prison deal. Now, this does not mean anything. It doesn't make you tough. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you smarter than anybody. It doesn't mean that you've been through more. This is just my experience of life. I ended up losing my basketball scholarship going to prison, and it taught me a lot. I came home to the halfway house on house arrest. I ended up getting me a job at Rumpke. I was working at Rumpke, making me about $500 a week, which was not working. It made me want to go back to doing things that were unlawful. So I stopped and quit my job at Rumpke, and I started going backwards. I started traveling, going to Vegas, kicking it, doing things that I was not supposed to be doing, buying things that I was not supposed to be buying, and living a life that I was not supposed to be living. I was not applying the information that I obtained. This is why I am very big on application. Once again, information needs application. You will not get results if you do not apply.
Bring it up, bring it down, bring it up.
One of the main things I learned when I obtained this information is that cash is trash in wealth architecture. It is actually 7 levels of wealth architecture, and actually understanding money and how money is created is the first level. A lot of people don't understand how to not think like an employee. They always want cash. They never want to put money into a brokerage account and gain interest or even invest money. They want to impress people. That is why most people carry cash, and that alone made me stop carrying cash. I don't carry a lot of cash. I put money into my brokerage account, into investments, and I borrow against my portfolio, and I go reinvest. You buy, borrow until you die. It is a strategy that all ultra-wealthy people have used repeatedly for generations, and it has never failed. The only way that this plan can fail is if you lose the discipline, and if you start trading your time again for money, sleep, and vices, and if you lose the skill. You have to keep sharpening the skill daily. Most people wake up popping perks, drinking lean, having sex, gambling, smoking excessive marijuana, wanting to leave and go out to the club, pop bottles, have fun. It's not about having fun. It's about doing what you need to do. Most people don't understand it's about what you need to do, necessities, not what you want to do. Anywho, once I learned out cash was trash, I started investing all of my money into passive streams of income, into my portfolio. I do not focus on earned income because earned income is taxed the most. Most people live off their earned income, and Uncle Sam already takes almost 30% of your money, and then you live off 40 to 80% of it. So you have to create income so you can have a debt to asset ratio, not a debt to income ratio. A debt to asset ratio qualifies you for asset-backed borrowing because the asset sits inside the entity. Most people don't even have the entity, let alone a brokerage account. These are things people have to apply if they want to get ahead, if you want to buy your time back. It's not about designer. It's not about impressing anybody. It's about investing. Cash is trash. Save up and go invest you into something that creates you more money. Now, like I said, I've tried working, I've tried illegal activity, I've tried CDL school, I've tried rapping, I've tried everything under the sun. I am a jack of all trades. Nothing worked for me until I started practicing litigation and option trading skills. Wealth architecture is the highest form of financial literacy, and leveraging debt is the #1 skill in the world. I did not start receiving results until I started applying debt, leverage, and wealth architecture. As you can see here, I was still trading my time for money, sleep, and vices. I was still trying to do things, rapping, things that didn't even matter. Even though entertainment was a skill that I had, I wasn't making money off of entertainment. I might have made money off of shows here and there, but this was not supporting my lifestyle. So I had to switch it up and go find a skill where I could create income legally, consistently. You only make money for 8 hours out of the day when you work at 9 to 5 for someone. What about the other 16 hours throughout the day? I had to go find a way to create income. That is when I went and got certified in consumer law and legal defense, and I also am accepted through the LOSP, which is the Law Office Study Program, where you do not need a Juris Doctor's degree to take a bar exam. There are 4 states. There's Washington, California, Vermont, and Virginia, where you can take a bar exam without having a Juris Doctor's degree, and you are allowed to practice from your state. You would just have to come back to that state that does not have the Law Office Study Program, and you would just have to pass your bar exam in that specific state. Now, I tell my story because I was addicted to drugs. I am also a felon. I am also released on a $200,000 bond right now due to police misconduct, and I am actively fighting an open case while I am practicing litigation in my apprenticeship hours through the Law Office Study Program, which if you look up Sean Hotwood, you are allowed to practice with having felonies. Sean Hotwood robbed 5 banks. He has 12 felonies. He robbed 5 banks and he did 12 years in federal prison. He is now a law professor and he was one of the best federal attorneys that you will ever read about. Like I said here, I was still trading time for money, sleep, and vices. That is all what this is about, me showing you just how a lot of time can be wasted. I got into Roadmaster driving school, and this also showed me how you could trade your time for money. I was spending 10 hours a day driving this truck, not making any money, and this showed me that if I would have got on the road to go make money, that I would have been away from my family. I was actually excited that I failed CDL school because it would have taken me away from my family, my wife. It would have taken me away from me building my own system. With that experience, it taught me that I wanted to build my own system and have my own time. I was falling asleep in a book, studying my CDL stuff, studying my law stuff at the same time, trying to run a pressure washing company. I also was scammed out of a couple internet courses that I had bought from family members, and it did not work out. They were lying about the skills that they had. That alone made me go get certified in the skill that I have now because I seen that people were faking their skill. If you look up Frank Abigail, he faked every skill that he had to become a millionaire. This is why I said you have to verify the skill. There are a lot of people that are faking their skills. These opportunities are out there for everybody. The information is out there for everybody, but people are not applying, and this is why they don't have the experience. It's because they're not applying. The word expertise comes from experience. Now I run a whole system from home, just like Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett started from home. The first thing I did was go and learn skills and pass them to my wife, my son. I homeschooled my son. I helped my wife leverage her business and build her brand. I also started to rent cars out on Turo, hosting accounts, Airbnb hosting accounts, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Kik, Groupon, Stan Store, Amazon, even DoorDash has a merchant account now. These are all OPP, which is other people's platforms that you can utilize. The reason you want to learn the skill is because the skill stays with you forever. No matter who you pass it to, no matter who you help out, the skill stays with you. That doesn't mean they're going to sharpen the skill like you sharpened it. You can pass it out to everybody. This is why Oprah used to say, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. She has something to offer her audience. Without you having a skill, you have nothing to offer your audience. It will be hard for you to make a sale because you will be focused on entertainment, not education. Now, the biggest thing is people think credit repair is consumer law. Consumer law and credit repair are two different things. You utilize consumer laws to utilize consumer lending, which if you look up Arthur J. Morris, he's a lawyer from Virginia who made it possible for all consumers and even wage earners to utilize consumer laws and consumer lending, not credit coaching or funding coaching. Now, as I told you, I was released on a $200,000 bond almost 4 years ago. I've been fighting the case for almost 3 years, actually. This is police misconduct involved all over this case. Once I was released on this $200,000 bond, the money that I had left over, I went and took a lot of that money and I invested it into skills and I invested it into investments, option trading, things that I will be able to grow from, slowly grow, but I will be able to grow and build and be able to maintain comfortably. That is what it's about, buying your time back. Now, this is the blueprint that I'm showing people to create digital income. Like I said, I am also actively practicing through the Law Office Study Program. This is why I show me doing this daily. Once again, I'm not better than anybody, but this is just my transformation story that I'm sharing with the world, the whole world, not just people that I know, not just people that I knew. This is with the whole world. I am exposing this brand and myself and my skills to the whole world. I have nothing to hide, and everybody can follow this story. I will be helping every American, specifically African Americans, and it is nothing against other races, but this information has been hidden from my race, and I am going to flood my race with this information. The LII is the Legal Information Institute. It has been open since 1999. 1992. We could all go look this information up, all the way from consumer, civil, constitutional, criminal, contract law, case law, family law, business law, administrative procedure, jurisdiction, Article 3. I could go on and on. Every one of my exams that I've ever took, I got over a 90%. I study for hours out the day. I take an exam every Friday, and I am actively doing this day to day, filing motions, notices, complaints, disputes, objections, appellate court, post-conviction relief. And I also teach investment strategies and option trading, treasury bonds, T-bills, T-notes, IULs, indexed universal life insurance policies. This is wealth architecture and debt leverage. This is not working a regular 9 to 5. This is not you doing anything unlawful. And this is not a trade. This is real skills. Skills help you build. You will not need a soul when you learn skills. You will be able to build your own system. Bullish definition. Bullish means you believe the price of an asset will increase. Example, I think Microsoft will go higher. Bearish definition. Bearish means you believe the price of an asset will decrease. Example, I think Tesla will go lower. Call options. Definition. A call option gives the buyer the right but not the obligation to buy 100 shares of the underlying stock at the strike price before the expiration date. When do you buy a call? When you're bullish and expect the strike price to rise is when you buy a call. You buy a put when you are bearish and you expect the stock price to go down. Okay? These are things everybody need to learn so they could be able to apply. Information needs application, but you can't apply the information if you don't have it. Okay? You do not. People don't realize you could borrow against your assets. That's the whole point of you having a portfolio. You buy, borrow, die. You have three types of earned income. You have three types of income. You have earned income, passive streams of income, and portfolios. They go learn skills so they can create income with passive streams like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. They go brand themselves, Stan Store, Groupon, Amazon, Toro hosting account, Airbnb hosting account, DoorDash, merchant account, Lyft. They use these platforms now to go brand themselves. They utilize their skill, problem solve. It could be any skill. You might need to fix somebody's nails, somebody's hair. That's a problem. It don't have to be brain problem solving skills. You use any problem solving skills to go create income. You start with what you got. Once you utilize that, then once you start to create the income, now you go create digital bank accounts and traditional banking relationships, and you track your sales and put the money on the portfolio. Now you have room to invest comfortably. You have a cushion using consumer laws and consumer lending. I never told you to go be me or go practice to be a lawyer. No, I'm happy too. I ain't never seen no shit like that. I have never been paid off interest in my life. You know, we only had Robinhood Gold for a month. So now we get the interest payments because 3.35 annual percentage rate they pay us yearly for our money sitting there. That's the whole point of having a brokerage account is that the banks don't pay you for letting your money sit there. Our money is sitting there. We just make money off of it sitting, baby. I know. Yeah. Some niggas ain't understanding. And then I have the skill to do this. I purchased this $4,400 call. This is a tax check. Me just spending this money on this one call. That's why I tell you, you gotta have some money to do this. Niggas told me to go buy Gucci, Louis Prada. You gotta get in the game. I'm not getting out of this game. Fuck that Gucci, Louis. What the fuck? You hear me, Lavana? You're out of the game. You could crap out. Yeah. Nigga talking about some designer, man. Fuck all that portfolio. Strike price minus the break-even price. That's what you're gonna get the strike, the stock for, at the contract for.